Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil.
Well, remember that down. Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
Welcome into the only show in America that's dumb enough to put statistics next to our predictions. This is Write That Down Wednesday here on Purple Daily, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. They'd have to be a surprise entrant to conference championship weekend, like a Royal Rumble surprise, if they want to win this year's Super Bowl. Wait! The Lions don't come out of the tunnel. The Lions music hits, they don't come out of the tunnel, and all of a sudden you see Dan Campbell's body get thrown out next to a steel chair. And Kevin O'Connell comes walking out.
I think I sent this to you on Instagram a few months ago, Phil, or recently, but I think it was The Ringer that talked about that. Instead of Woj and Shams dropping trade deadline, scoops, and as they happen, no one announces them, and then at the starting lineup on the court, oh my God, it's LeBron James, and he's on the Knicks. Who would have saw this? Can you imagine how badass that would be? That would be can't miss television. Where did they go?
The Atlanta Falcons take the field week one after not drafting a quarterback. Desmond Ritter's been at training camp all year. Fans are just kind of buzzkill. Wait. Actually, it'd be Creed. Creed comes blasting through the speaker. That's Kirk Cousins. He's here. By God.
Comes out smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, he's got the Hulk Hogan NWO beard.
Wow.
Yep.
Ripping a heater, sleeveless cutoff shirt.
God, I love it. Inject it.
Anyhow, we have two weeks left. I think it's technically 3 predictions. Yeah, we have this week, next week, and then the week before the Super Bowl. So 3 more prediction weeks before the end of the 2023 Write That Down season. I guess 2023-24. So we'll roll through the accountability here. This is how it works if you're new to these Wednesday segments. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They just have to be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns, and it is a super tight race between the 3 of us. Listeners are a little bit further behind, but it's kind of anyone's game between the 3 of us here the next 3 weeks. Listeners, if you want to participate like Danny is about to, send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we will get you scheduled for probably the early part of the next Write That Down season. Let's start with Judd, who had a buzzer beater a half hour ago that we're going to get to here.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, this wound up being a great week for Judd. We'll start with the bad, though. You said the Cowboys would part ways with Mike McCarthy by the end of the Write That Down season. If this does somehow still happen, because there's all sorts of chaos. Dude, relatives of multiple Cowboys players are on social media just clowning Dak Prescott.
I saw that. Well, and this beat, though, was immediate. This came out, so I made this prediction in the morning a week ago on Wednesday, and literally that night, it's Mike McCarthy will be back on the last year of his contract with the Cowboys. So that was an immediate loss.
So we'll see. If Jerry Jones is kind of crazy, so maybe if the Belichick thing falls through in Atlanta, you never know. But right now, this is wrong. You said Antoine Winfield would be inducted into the Vikings Ring of Honor this past season. This should have come off the board a few weeks ago.
No one was.
Yeah, what happened
They
there?
took the year off. I checked. There have been previous years where they did not induct a person. They said that their acknowledgement of Bud Grant and that entire opening week thing to honor their past was going to be their presentation or program for the season. But I have been assured that there will be a Ring of Honor inductee or 2 next year.
Aggregators.
This is a report. This is a
That's
former lead Vikings beat writer reporting right now.
Because I care about this. I'm a complete geek, but I care about this. So I said, what's up with
I make a
that?
prediction.
I would say this, too. Suggestion to the Wilfs, because I always help with marketing and things like that.
Yep.
Suggestion to the Vikings. If Harrison Smith retires, put him in next year.
Yeah.
Don't make him
Antoine? Before Antoine?
Yeah.
They're
Yes,
weird
I
with
love
that, though,
Antoine.
Judd. They're weird with it. They take a long time. Didn't Randy Moss not get in till the last 5 years? And you think Harrison Smith should go in the next day? You think they would put him in the next day?
He should be in.
He should be in.
But and what
yeah.
a pop! But wouldn't it be a great pop if he retires and you put him in
Look at you.
immediately?
Now you're thinking Royal Rumble and wrestling.
Well, no, I'm
Just
thinking
using
marketing.
wrestling terms. This is great.
It is.
I got to be honest. If I was the Wild, the Wolves, the Twins, and Vikings, I would all pool my cash together to hire me as an idea guy. I'm really good. I mean, it's my calling. It's my absolute calling.
I'm an ideas guy. Okay.
I'm a people person. Damn it.
We should create a LinkedIn profile for Judd. Just Judd, ideas guy. Hire
Ideas
me.
guy for professional sports teams.
All right, here's the ones you got right here. You said the Packers would lose to the 49ers in a parlay in which you said by this week's Write That Down, Joe Barry would be let go as defensive coordinator. And about a half hour ago, the Packers did fire Joe Barry. That's a touchdown because it's a lot of different specific parts that had to come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Parlay, yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 2-item parlay with a specific week-long sort of end date. So
I'm calling for people's jobs.
You said Bill Belichick will be coaching his final season with the Patriots. And that one we kind of saw coming from a season or two away. This one, I don't know anyone did except for Judd, apparently. You said the 2023 college football season would be Nick Saban's last at Alabama.
I agree.
That's a touchdown.
I've forgotten that completely.
I did too, dude.
When was that made?
Like before the season, I think, or right at the beginning of the season.
I must have been drinking.
So a couple touchdowns for Judd. I had a bad week. I had Ravens and Niners both winning by double digits and the Bills beating the Chiefs. Had the Browns playing in the AFC title game. So over 2. Listeners had Bills and Ravens winning their respective divisional round games. Bills going to the Super Bowl. Jeff. Declan, pretty good week here. You did say the Bills would make the AFC title game, but you said the Packers would cover the 9.5 against the Niners, and the Lions would cover the 6.5 against the Buccaneers. And with that, Judd, with his buzzer beater this morning, has jumped into the lead for the completion percentage battle at 36.4%. I'm at 36.2%, but Declan's lurking at 35.3%. Listeners at 20.8%.
It's going to come down to last week.
Judd with 2 touchdowns also ties Declan with 13 touchdowns for the league lead. I have 11. Listeners have 9 on the season. Wow. This is wild with 3 weeks to go.
Wow.
Judd and Declan both neck and neck, 35.3% all-time statistics.
Wow. That's awesome.
Going back to 2021, I'm at 33.4% all-time. Listeners at 22.5%. I have a pretty big touchdown lead still at 44. Listeners and Declan with 36. Judd celebrating his 30th career touchdown pass.
Welcome, Judd.
Nice job.
Welcome.
Driving the ball down the field finally, huh? Got that shoulder surgery.
Okay, Chad Pennington.
Got that shoulder. Yeah.
Shoulder.
I love Chad Pennington.
I loved him too. Could only throw the ball 10 yards, but yeah, he was good.
Let's get our guy in here. Let's get is it Danny, right? Let's get Danny in the mix here. Danny, what's going on? How you doing today?
Oh, doing great. Taking some time off from work,
Yeah, can we keep you for like an hour and a half here, or like at what point do you have to go back to your work meetings?
No, let's stay here for an hour and a half.
Okay.
I got a 30-minute lunch. I can extend it. It's fine.
Okay.
It's office space.
I need you to come in on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to come.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. So, Danny, when did you first become a Vikings fan?
Well, I was born in '85, so obviously 1998 is the entry point, and I have a story about the championship game. So 13 years old, right? First year watching football and understanding what was going on, playing youth hockey. So that weekend, my youth hockey team is playing in a tournament in Red Wing, and the game is supposed to start at 12:30 on Sunday, right? And the way youth sports tournaments go, like the championship game is the last game of the weekend, so it's the latest game. But we suck, so it's fine, right? Like everyone's making plans where they're going to watch the game. They're going to drive home to Mankato and watch it. It's like a 2-hour drive from Red Wing, but we're going to be playing at like 8 a.m. because we suck, and so no big deal. We'll make it. Well, Friday night, first game, we win. Everyone's happy. Hey, we won. Saturday morning, win again.
Oh, no.
And everyone's going, oh, man, well, all of a sudden this is looking weird. And the team that we're supposed to play is like they won their first 2 games by like 14 goals each, right? Like just blowing teams away. So it's not a big deal. But we're in the semifinal against this team, and that's Saturday night. So playing them, it's close, we pull ahead in like the 3rd period, and all of a sudden, like all the parents, like the blood, you can just see it like drain out of their face because now we're going to be playing at like 10-15.
Should have been tanking. It's just another life lesson. Always tank.
Yeah. So we end up winning, right? And now everyone's like, oh, what are we going to do? Are we going to stay in Red Wing? Like, are we going to find a bar? Like, what's going on? So we actually decide that we're going to drive to Apple Valley and watch the game at my cousin's place because it's an hour shorter drive, right? So everything's fine now. No time crunch. Championship game starts. It's close. Goes to overtime, right? So now we've gone like beyond the hour that was allotted for the game, and we are extending it out. And in overtime, I remember it didn't matter which team was shooting. Every time the goalie made the save, the entire crowd was like crying, right? Like the parents for both teams are just like, just let it go in. Just let it go in. OT expires. No winner. Now we're in a shootout.
Oh, my God.
Each, right? 5 skaters each. Tied after 5 skaters. Tied after 6 skaters.
Oh, my God.
People are dying in the stands. I'm the 7th skater for my team, and I score, right? Forehand, backhand, 5 hold the goalie.
Triple deke.
Greatest moment of my life. Our goalie makes the save, and the game's over. Now people are going nuts, right? But then it's, individual announcements for both teams for like, come get your silver medal. Come get your gold medal. Come get your team trophy. Let's do some pictures. And like the parents are like shaking the glass, screaming at us to hurry up. I get off the ice.
Come on. I just took a knee at halftime.
Right. My dad has pulled my hockey bag out of the locker room and is like, he sits me down on it and takes my skates off and carries my bag and me out of the arena.
He's on his shoulder.
Yeah. So he can get
a 13-year-old on his shoulder.
Come on. Yeah. And
I did the same thing.
Yeah. And my mom has a picture of it, and we're both smiles, right? Because we're hockey champions and we're going to the Super Bowl. It's the greatest day. And I watched that whole game with like my fake gold medal from winning that tournament. So
at least you'll always have that moment.
Yeah.
You were a champion on that day, even if the Vikings couldn't.
This is why parents don't need to go to all kids sports.
I would have said he's supposed to get. He's 13. He's 12.
Get away with a friend.
Well, yeah, I guess they could have left.
Go with a friend.
My dad wouldn't have went. My dad would not have went to my game.
Yeah.
No way.
I'll tell you what. I was texting you guys this weekend. So between divisional games on, I guess it would have been Saturday night, because the second game started at like, was it 7? I want to say. And my brother-in-law and my nephew Ben were in town from Milwaukee, and he's playing for a club team in Milwaukee that was traveling to play a couple games against like Minnesota club teams. Mm-hmm. And they played at Winter Park. So I was sending you guys pictures of it, like they're literally playing in the Vikings' old practice facility. Yeah. And in the locker room, they have converted to like a Minnesota youth club soccer lobby. But all these parents were here from Wisconsin at the Packers game kicked off against the Niners at the exact time that this game started. Now, it didn't go to overtime and in PKs and stuff like Danny's game, but every parent on the sideline, like their kids are out there playing this intense game, going back and forth. Every parent had that Packers game on their phone and was paying zero attention, that's the difference between now and 1998, right? Like in 98, you couldn't just pull the game up on your phone and ignore the shootout.
No, and I can tell you, in 1998, playing games, there were oftentimes like parents huddled around the one little like 14-inch TV that was like up on the wall in the arena and watching that rather than watching the game. At least now you can fake it and you just put it down on your knee.
I've done that at weddings, by the way, in churches where it's like, okay,
sure,
the Gophers are playing Northwestern, and I need to know what happens.
I don't think parents realize to a large extent how little a lot of their children care if they're there. I think they think it's necessary. I need to be there to support. I never cared. It's like, I'm here with my buddies.
I wouldn't.
I disagree 100% with that.
I'm here with my buddies. That's all I cared about.
When did you stop playing sports though? Like, what was your last year playing sports?
Probably like I was a kid. I was probably 11.
Yeah, but
12.
dude, once you get older and you're like more conscious of the world and things, like you're trying to make your parents proud. You know, you want your. That's a very sociopathic take. I feel
that's
like
very Judd.
Tell them what I did.
Very Judd-like take.
I just don't care. I look. I'll tell them how I did. I'm with my buddies. I want to be with my friends. If my parents are there, great. If they're not, in fact, you know what? Less pressure.
You should have seen these are 12-year-old kids playing soccer. Every time they did something good, they'd look over for validation.
You know what?
You want your parents.
That's the problem. That's the issue right there. That's the issue. They're looking at their parents for validation that they shouldn't be worried about from their parents. That is exactly my problem with this whole thing.
If you're looking for how to fix society, the sports dad is here for you, parents.
Exactly
even though
right.
He doesn't have kids, but he's
I don't need kids.
advice.
I was a kid myself. I have the greatest background because I was a kid.
Speaking as a former baby, I will just say,
right, 100%. Yep. So, hey, let's make some predictions here. We're going to start with Danny. We're going to go to Judd, over to Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room. That was a great story, by the way, Danny.
Thank you.
Go ahead. What's your first prediction?
Okay, so my first prediction, let's see. The 2024 NFL Draft starts on April 5th, right? It's a Thursday. It's going to be held in Detroit, which will be awesome, as they'll be celebrating their first Super Bowl or whatever, and that'll kill me. But Vikings hold the 11th pick, and I wanted to make a prediction about like the impact that this draft will have on the totality of the team without like trying to guess who they're going to take in the first round or whatever. So here's the prediction. With Kwesi's 3rd draft class on board and on the team, the Minnesota Vikings next season will win the Super Bowl.
Oh. April 25th. Yep.
Oh, 25th. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep. April 25th.
Yeah, we don't want you to get burned by a wrong date. If all of that other stuff comes to fruition, he's like,
sorry.
He said,
you're good.
I was going to say, the prediction is with Kwesi's 3rd draft class on board, the Vikings will win the Super Bowl. So the date was just sort of there as a lead in.
Yeah. Wow.
Just trying to protect you. Just trying to be your buddy.
Here. Judd, what's your first prediction?
All right. I'm going to go for it here. Probably going to bite me, but that's okay. The Lions will beat the 49ers.
Wow, dude. Wow. Deebo Samuel questionable right now.
Well, yep. Well, and don't forget the 49ers slump happened with him out. Like that slump was not a coincidence.
No, in fact, their yards per play are crazy different when he's not in the game. It's and Trent Williams is the other one. It's like if you're ranking the most important guys on that team and the impact. Now Trent Williams will play, but Deebo is, and even from like their running game, he's one of the best blocking wide receivers in the NFL too. Ayuk is a great blocker.
He sort of makes the stew go. Like McCaffrey is damn good, but I feel like Deebo is like the wild card player there. So
I love it. It's bold.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Declan.
All right, I'll write this down. I'll just take the 2 teams that win this weekend. I will say Chiefs and 49ers in the Super Bowl. Chiefs, 49ers in the Super Bowl. Write it down.
That was the first Chiefs Super Bowl win, right? That they beat the 49ers. Those teams played a Super Bowl together.
Isn't the Chiefs... I thought the Chiefs' first Super Bowl win was against the Vikings.
No. I'm sorry.
But yeah, you're talking about this. Yes.
In the Mahomes. Yeah,
yes.
My bad. In the Mahomes era.
It'd be a repeat. Yeah, it'd be a repeat Super Bowl from 4 years. Yeah. Yep.
Correct.
Okay. Wow.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Okay, I'm gonna go chalk. I really think the Ravens. The Deebo thing does make me pause. I think it's Ravens and Niners. So I'll go against you guys. So we're all making different Super Bowl predictions. Ravens and Niners will play. So we're gonna get another Super Bowl rematch from like 10 years ago. The Harbaugh game. From 10
Baltimore
years ago.
would be fun.
Baltimore is the best team in the NFL, but there's a Mahomes factor here
That's exactly.
There's been some Brady teams in the past where they're going up against a better team, but one team has Tom Brady.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Back to Danny.
Okay. So a lot of talk about Kirk Cousins on the show. And off the record, I think he's going to get one more big bite at the apple. I'm thinking like 2 years, $25 million. And I don't know. For the Vikings, someone else. I just think that's what it'll be. And, he'll do the Kirk things, 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. But anyway, that's all off the record. It's a Vikings show, so Vikings prediction. The Minnesota Vikings will win the 2025 NFL season's Super Bowl, played in approximately February 2026.
Wow, I love how you're stacking It's like a thread of predictions here.
So back-to-back Super Bowl wins is what you're predicting.
Back-to-back Super Bowl wins next year and the year after. Yep.
Could be. Could be.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Judd?
Oh, I hope your heart's not set on that. Okay, write this down. This will come off the board in the next cycle, the next season of Write That Downs. There will be a credible report the Vikings are planning to or are pursuing Dolphins defensive tackle Christian Wilkins in free agency.
So he does have a Flores connection from early in his career there.
He was
right?
a rookie when I think Flores might have played a role in drafting him.
Okay.
He's going to get paid. My guess is the Vikings probably can't afford him, but I do think that they with their need at that position, I think they will definitely at least dip their toe in that water. So
they can franchise him too, right? The Dolphins?
Yes. I don't know that they will, but yes, they can. And that's a possibility. And that would probably be the one thing that would derail my prediction.
Okay.
Write this down.
The Dexter.
All right, write this down. With the Brock Purdy discourse that everyone loves to discuss with him, I'm going to say this. Brock Purdy will nab a game-winning drive or fourth quarter comeback in a win over the Lions. So I'm already saying that the Lions the Niners, are going to the Super Bowl, but in a separate prediction, I think Brock Purdy leads them to a fourth quarter comeback or a game-winning drive in a win on Championship Sunday. Write it down.
Dex sniped me on this one because I was going to go Brock Purdy game-winning drive as well.
I think I know here too. I think Dex is not making pro 49ers picks because he likes them. I think he wants Lions fans to feel the pain that we felt. I think this is a vindictive.
Me too.
I think Declan is like, screw them. They don't deserve it. We've been through the pain. And so he not only wants to make this a loss, he wants to reach in the chest of a Lions fan and rip out their heart. I sort of appreciate this.
This is a new level of potential sports pain for Lions fans, right?
Correct.
They have not like the Vikings. I don't think you ever get used to it, but we just had the 1998 story, right, from Danny. Once every 10 years, we have NFC Championship doorstep of Super Bowl pain. The Lions generations of Lions fans do not really know what that pain feels like.
This would be the comparable to this, I think, would be just because of the length of the wait, would be what the original Browns felt on like the Elway drive.
And then they lost three. Didn't they lose three consecutive? I think the Broncos beat the Browns in 3 straight playoffs, if I'm not mistaken.
And the drive is, I think, the one that is the most famous. But I feel like that would be the comparable, right? Because like you don't know that pain, and then bang. I think this is very vindictive of Declan, and I sort of am here for it.
I'm also pro Brock Purdy. Everyone having this just ridiculous takes on victory laps over Brock Purdy to me is just, it's kind of insufferable to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't really understand. Yes, he is a system quarterback, but these people that are like, look how bad he is. See, it's like, I mean, dude, you guys, he's in an NFC Championship game again, and he's on a doorstep of going to the Super Bowl. He's a good quarterback. He's not Mahomes. No one's saying he's Mahomes, but he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, we love to do this, and I feel like I'm proud of our show. People think we're a bunch of Kirk haters. No, you think we're Kirk haters because we are able to speak in nuance about a non-elite quarterback and poke at the things that he needs to be better at relative to price. Like Brock Purdy is in that middle area, which for the last pick in the draft is a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
And to Declan's point, if the gotcha is, he's not Lamar, he's not Mahomes. Okay, like. Yes, correct.
Yeah, we know that.
He knows that too. Yeah. Now, if you give him a few more years, maybe he does what some of the other later, the Russell Wilsons and the Tom Bradys. So I'm with Dex on this. Like everyone's using this as a referendum on Brock Purdy. He made some badass throws in that game against the Packers too. Like tight window, huge throws. That throw to Ayuk on the final touchdown drive. So all right.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
So you got the game-winning drive prediction. I'll say this. I'm looking for a home run here or a touchdown. Brock Purdy will lead a go-ahead touchdown drive in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime. So it won't be a field goal. It'll be a touchdown. He will lead a go-ahead touchdown drive in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, or overtime. Okay. They're probably going to blow them out now, and I'm going to miss that
Write it
prediction.
down. You like writing things down.
He's going to throw for 400 yards. He won't even need the game-winning drive.
If I'm a Detroit
Raiders.
fan, I would prefer to be blown out than what you guys just suggested.
Just get it over right away.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is the Giants and Eagles NFC title game defeats, I've never seen those as that painful.
Yeah.
Like, because they're so bad. It's like, yeah, it sucks. But I mean, 98 and 2009.
Those are hard, those are wrenching losses.
I would
right?
much rather get drilled.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they might find out one way or the other. Back to Danny for your last prediction here.
Okay, last prediction. Let's see. In the 2024 season, the Vikings are going to be hosting a game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in North London. That's in England. All Vikings home games, or hosted games, I should say, feature the Skull Chant, right? Which originated in Iceland. Iceland is an island nation in the North Atlantic. Its capital is Reykjavik. The NFL is looking to expand like European presence and maybe even move a team there, right? Well, Iceland is closer to the U.S. geographically than England is. It's a shorter flight. So here's my prediction. The Minnesota Vikings will win the 2026 NFL Super Bowl.
Let's go.
I was thinking he was going to change it up. That was awesome.
3P.
I thought you were going to predict they'd play a game in Iceland.
Nope.
That was great. What a
The
dupe.
Vikings will win the 2026 Super Bowl in Iceland. Would be
No. They're not going to play it there. No. It's going to be in New Orleans or Miami or something. So
I hope Danny hits on all three of these.
hey, if I hit on
all,
all three of them, I expect to be the forever champion of Write That Down.
we will
you
shut
will
the
be.
segment down.
Yeah, we
I
would.
think if you
We'll
hit on
have
the
to.
second
We
one,
might shut
we'll
the
shut it
show down at that point. There might be nothing left to criticize, talk about, or dissect.
Yeah,
No.
if I hit all three, I'm going to remind you guys forever on Twitter. So
Danny, this was great, man. Great story, great prediction. Since you've got this life-altering platform right now, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get to this moment?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to thank my parents for the Vikings fandom. That's worked out great. I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with it, like everybody does. I'd like to thank U Street from the Daily Gopher for teaching me how to do predictions and, shoot your shot. So that's about it. Thanks, guys. It's
Awesome,
been fun.
man. Great stuff. Guest
Good
listener
stuff.
predictor, Danny.
All right.
Definitely get
See
you
you,
on
Danny.
again sometime so you can make 3 more Super Bowl predictions.
Oh, yeah.
27, 28, 29.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on. Before we make our final predictions and get to a championship weekend edition of the Quarterback Cesspool Challenge, let's say hi to our friends at Nutrisource here. Nutrisource is the official dog and pet food of Purple Daily and Score North. We are dog people on this show. And Nutrisource, they're all about gut health, digestion health for your dogs, and you'll never see a happier dog than Maya Mackey, who eats the same thing for every meal. You know a Nutrisource is good when she's that smiley for every meal.
And Stella the same exact way. You know what, though? She loves it every single time. And the treats, don't get me started on the treats, because she just wants to go outside half the time to come inside and get a treat. What's the Vinster like when it comes to the treats?
Vinster's the same way. Yep, he sometimes does the same thing. He'll just trot inside from the backyard and then go right into the pantry where he knows the treats and his all of his treats are just sitting there waiting. Hey, human, go grab me some of those treats. Hey, guy. Hey, fat
Is the
boy.
Christmas tree still up, Dex, or no?
No, the Christmas tree came down. My fiance is a hard stop right around the New Year. Right around New Year's, she takes it down.
Ours
shortly
still
after.
up, and I love it. It's the greatest
Really?
nightlight ever.
Why don't you just get a nightlight that's not a Christmas tree?
Well, I come
I hate nightlights.
downstairs. There's lights. No, but I'm saying it's downstairs. I'm sorry. It's the greatest light at night. It's not in my room, obviously.
Okay,
It's
gotcha.
downstairs.
Yeah, I need.
But like
I
if
need
I come
darkness.
downstairs because I'm in my mid 50s and I have to come downstairs during the night at times, I got that natural light on the Christmas tree. I've always told Don, leave the Christmas tree up. Don't worry about taking it down.
So when do you take? So by the way, we are like December 26th to take Christmas stuff down, people. The day after Christmas, I'm done watching Christmas
Boxing Day.
movies. Yeah.
Yep.
She'll probably take it down within the next 2 weeks, but she doesn't have to.
Want to write
I
that
tell
down?
her, leave it up. Really, December 26th. That is punctual. That is really
Yeah.
punctual.
We're just,
Good for you guys.
we're kind
Turn
of
the
over
page.
it. It's been a
Yeah.
fun run. We're kind of just ready
On the
to.
page. I
Are
like
you
it.
punctual, or is that more her?
It's probably more her, but I'm fully on board and
Sure.
cooperative, 100%.
Yeah.
System quarterback? Yep.
Yeah, I'm the Brock Purdy of this marriage.
System quarter.
I can make some plays, but
Yeah.
in general, it's really not my own.
Don't think for yourself.
Doing.
Don't make those throws off schedule. Make sure they're on schedule.
Always be on schedule. All right, Judd, what is your third and final prediction?
Write this
All right,
down.
my third and final prediction is a draft prediction that we actually alluded to, or I did in the first Purple Daily that we did today talking about quarterbacks. Either the Bears, Commanders, or Patriots will not take a quarterback with their first pick in the draft.
Okay.
Either the Bears, Commanders, or Patriots will not take a quarterback with their first pick in the draft. This leaves me room for one of them to trade down and then not take a quarterback too, just in case that happens.
Or trade down. Yeah. What if they
If
trade
they take
down
a quarterback,
and to take a quarterback?
No,
you'd
then I'm
be
done.
wrong, right?
Then I'm done.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, last one for me after Judd's, the special teams coordinator, kicker Judd, who has solved kicking after we talked about it ad nauseum on Monday. I'm going to make a prediction on this week's games involving kickers. Justin Tucker will miss a field goal or extra point for the Ravens on Sunday.
Dude. Whoa.
He's going to miss a field goal or extra point for the Baltimore Ravens.
Wow.
Right
Off the record, is that going to cost him the game?
Oh, yeah, it will. It will.
How about that? Wouldn't that be something if it wasn't if it was Lamar Jackson that played his ass off and it was Justin Tucker that dropped the ball?
Did you also know that the Niners kicker was drafted in the third round by San Francisco this last draft? Justin Moody was a third round pick. And he's made 60 of 61 extra points. He's missed one extra point, but 60 of 61. Maybe you got to draft these guys. Maybe you don't just sign some random dude off the street from the Big East Conference. Maybe you actually figure out a better way to go about this kicking position.
Still missed one, though. He shouldn't have missed the one.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right. I predict that we are going to have a credible report, I'll say sometime before training camps start. I'm trying to think of when this would happen. It would probably be like league meetings of some kind. A credible report that the NFL will be seriously discussing changing the fumble out of the end zone rule. So it will be
March.
March?
After free agency. I think the owners meet, which is where the competition committee meets. I think that comes in the last part of March or middle of March. So yes.
I'll just say before training camp, just in case for some reason. Yep. But there will be a credible report, a Shefty, or just off the record, like a Shefty, a Rappaport, somebody saying that the league is discussing changing the fumble out of the end zone rule.
That's going to happen. I think you're 1,000% right there.
Let's just change it. Let's just do something different. We talked about that on yesterday's show. So
the problem is, I guess the roadblock is that the competition committee has defensive guys on it as well, and they don't want to change the rule. But I will say this: if Goodell wants it changed, it gets changed.
Yeah,
he's the linchpin.
Let's put some offensive guys on that committee for this particular meeting.
All
right, there it is. Those are your write that down predictions.
Write it down. You like writing things
Your
down.
accountability session. It is time now, boys, for a championship Sunday edition of the Quarterback Cesspool Challenge, a weekly celebration of bad quarterback play in the NFL on this show. Declan was the regular season champion running away. He ran away with the overall lowest QBR and the weekly win totals. We reset this thing for the playoffs, where each member of the show, now in the regular season, you could only use a quarterback once per season. In the postseason, because the pool is dwindling,
right?
You can do a duplicate quarterback if you want to. We're looking for the lowest QBR. That's it. On a 0 to 100 scale, the lowest QBR. And last week, for the first time since like October, I finally identified the lowest QBR of any of us. Jordan Love, come on down.
Nice work.
But how about this? Like in terms of just how well these quarterbacks generally play once you get this far into the postseason, he had the lowest QBR of any of the teams playing, and it was a 44.9. So he was just below average. And with the eye test, you're like, boy, he looked pretty damn good in that game until that last throw with a Farvian throw across his body.
How much did that play? So if he doesn't make that throw, let's say they still lose, he throws the ball in that particular situation out of bounds, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they just lose, but it's not a catastrophic throw at the end. Do you think you still win?
Yeah, I don't know like the math on how that throw impacted, but I would think that because high leverage situations and so close games, right? That probably dinged him. Yeah, it's very possible that so Judd had C.J. Stroud 53.1.
I'm trying to convince myself I could have won. No,
you may have. Especially think about this: if it's incomplete, he doesn't get dinged as much. If it's a completion and they go and score, all of a sudden now his QBR is much higher.
Yes.
So and then Brock Purdy was Declan's choice, and he wound up with he didn't play the best, but he had a 61.9 QBR in that game.
Won already.
Well, he got the regular season crown. There's
No, I know, but I'm saying he has
the
a
in-season
crown.
tournament. Yeah, this is
he's got a crown. Yeah, this is the go Lakers.
So here's where we stand, and we'll explain sort of how we proceed going forward here. But we're 2 weeks into the playoffs, and I'm just making note of the playoff wins. Those don't really matter in the grand scheme here. Judd, you have a win. I have a win. Declan had 1 million wins in the regular season, still searching for his first postseason win. But we're going to take the worst 2 QBRs through the first 3 rounds, and then those members of the show will face each other in a reset Super Bowl. So it'll literally just be, okay, a clean slate Super Bowl, Judd versus Declan, Phil versus Judd, however the math works out.
Okay.
So, Judd, you have 34.5 QBR. You're in the driver's seat right now. I'm at 43.2. Declan, 52.3. So Declan needs to identify. He'll pick first. Needs to identify a crappy quarterback performance. There's only 4 to choose from, and hope that he can put a dent into this thing. So, Dex, you got 4 guys. Who are you choosing?
Much like Judd's theory of what I'm trying to do and write that down, I'm going to bring that to the QB Cesspool Challenge. So give me Jared Goff this week in the Quarterback Cesspool Challenge.
Again.
Give me Jared Goff.
I'm sorry. You picked Purdy last week. My bad.
Picked Purdy last week, and who did I take in Wild Card Weekend? I forget.
You took Baker Mayfield.
Took Baker. So I'm going to take Jared Goff. And I guess even regardless, even if I'm not being completely vindictive, wanting the Lions to, burn in a fiery car crash, going against the Niners defense is also very difficult. So in general, I think this is even the safer pick of the 4. So I'm going to take Jared Goff.
And Judd, you get because we're going off last week's standings here so Declan was worse. So you get the second pick this week, and then I have to pick third. I have to pick the scraps.
My God.
Which means I probably have
the AFC, I can't do it. I'm trying to think if I can do it. I just can't do it. I just don't look. I mean, both of those guys can run. I am not taking Mahomes, which would mean I would take Jackson, but Jackson can run, and that's going to get him QBR points. I'm going to have to take Brock. I'm going to have to.
You have no choice. You have
Detroit's secondary is not good, in my opinion, still. I don't like Declan's right. Jared Goff going against San Francisco defense on the road is way tougher. But yeah, I feel I'm stuck, you guys.
Well, now I'm stuck more than
now
you're
stuck. Yep, that's great.
Well, you're screwed. I'm stuck. You're screwed.
So I have to choose either Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes to have a bad.
Congratulations on your win last week, Phil.
Godspeed.
I don't know how I can pick the greatest quarterback of all time in this situation. So I have to take Lamar Jackson here.
Yes.
It sucks, but I have to take Lamar Jackson. So I'll take Lamar Jackson and just kind of hope and pray here. Hope and pray that Jared Goff lights it up against the San Francisco 49ers.
He's had, he had a clunker against the Chargers a few in November, but he has put up QBRs of at least 70 or above in his last 6 games.
What about Mahomes?
Let's see here. Pat Mahomes. What has he done? Carry the 4. The last 5 games, he had a clunker against the Raiders. Remember, he had that bad game on Christmas.
These are the 2 in the postseason. Jackson and Mahomes have the 2 highest QBRs. In the regular season, Jackson is 4th, Mahomes is 8th, but they're separated by 1.5 points.
Yeah.
So it really is just whatever. They're both probably going to light it up.
Did you just do math, Dex? Did you just do math? I heard you say carry the 4.
Oh, I was just more killing time. But yes, yeah. I
Okay, I was just impressed. I rarely do math. Phil's good at it, so he's fine. But
I also didn't know who you were addressing when you said, "Did you just do math?" Because there's two other people on this show. So like, is he talking
No, I
to
said
me
Dex.
or is he talking to Judd?
You didn't hear me. I said comma Dex. But that's good. That's great. Okay, good for you. Have at it, you guys. Both do math on the show. I ain't doing math on the show.
What's happening right now?
It's too dangerous.
You know what's happening? The Brainerd JC's Ice Fishing Extravaganza.
They don't do math.
Yeah, they do. It's the 34th annual Brainerd JC's Ice Fishing Extravaganza. Carry the 2. Saturday, February 3rd on Gull Lake's Hole in the Day Bay. Over $250,000 in prizes. You can purchase tickets for $50 at any of the 49 Fleet Farm locations across Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, North Dakota, or just go online at icefishing.org to find out all the information and get tickets. $250,000 in prizes. 34th annual Brainerd JC's Ice Fishing Extravaganza. Carry the 2. Or go to icefishing.org to find out more information. There we go, boys. Predictions, cesspools. We got a bonus episode where we broke down earlier today. You can find it on the Purple Daily podcast feeds and YouTube channel. We broke down just how risky it is or not to draft a quarterback in the first round, day 2, day 3. So check those out. And our other Write That Down predictions on the Score North YouTube channel and the Minnesota Sports with Mackie and Judd podcast. Do big day here on Score North. See you guys.